With our new web app, it is now easier than ever to share your board. In this short video, I'll show you exactly how easy that is. For the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to assume a pretty common use case, such as the one where you're sitting in a room with a few colleagues and also working with a few remote participants. Odds are, if you're part of that second group, you're pretty frustrated when somebody tries to use a whiteboard in one of these meetings because the content might be backwards, it might be obstructed, you might need to rewrite it. All of those problems are now a thing of the past thanks to ShareTheBoard. So first of all, if you are working with somebody remotely, you're probably using some kind of a video conferencing solution like Meet or Zoom or Skype, just as I'm using this example. All we have to do is add ShareTheBoard in a separate tab. So I've already logged in to ShareTheBoard here, and you can see that as soon as I log in, I arrive at my dashboard. Here I can edit my profile, view plan details, etc. But the only thing I really care about is this big blue button that says Start New Meeting. I have the ability to change the name of my meeting, so I'll go ahead and do that. And I arrive in a new tab where the browser asks for permission to use the camera. Of course, I'm going to allow that. And that takes me to this one-step onboarding process. Now, in this step, you're basically telling the application where to focus. So just by dragging these corners and sides around, I can create the work area that will be applied to this session. Just like that, and hit next. After you do that, once the session starts, if you wanted to change those settings, you just click settings, and then this area kind of reactivates and you can adjust it as needed. You can also flip the image or take advantage of this nifty centering feature, which stretches any work area to a nice clean rectangle. Very useful if you're sharing your board from a strange angle. So you can already see that the application started doing its thing. It's finding content, it's putting it in front of obstacles. Now what I need to do is share it with my remote participants. So back in my video conferencing tab, I'm going to use the share screen feature and share the tab where I have ShareTheBoard open. And that's it. Just like that, I'm sharing my board. And hopefully you'll agree that it's a better experience for anybody joining remotely. The content is now visible, it's unobstructed. Yes, it's much easier to view, it's much easier to see. Now, if you wanted to give your remote participants the ability to save that content, you'll want to invite them to your stream. Now, you do that in one of two ways. You can either click this button down here that says copy invite link, or use this nifty little QR code toggle. And when you send that link, for example, in the chat of your video conferencing session to your remote participants, they will arrive at this gate where they can enter their name and just like that, join a live stream of your board. Now, depending on the version of ShareTheBoard that you're using, you may or may not see video also being streamed, but of course everybody sees the content being streamed in real time without any of the obstacles. One thing that the live stream does not include is audio, which is why we do recommend using a video conferencing platform, again, like Zoom or Meet or Skype, for the communication piece and relying on ShareTheBoard to actually stream your content. So back to this page, your viewers can now save the content that you're streaming with just one click, just like that. One button, and you can see that content is nice and clear. Very soon, we'll also be adding some new features that allow your remote participants to actually interact with your board by adding content, by adding annotations, adding comments, etc. So stay tuned for that. That's it. Hopefully that's pretty simple. If you have any questions, please write us on the website or at hello@sharetheboard.com. Thanks.